Hey Patrick, you've spent your whole life in Vancouver. You've had a ton of exposure.
Most of my life.
Most of your life in Vancouver. You've had a ton of exposure to the Seattle Mariners and the culture surrounding them. I did not grow up here and actually did spend a lot of time in Toronto. Went to university there. Spent a lot of time around the Blue Jays. Was there for their 2 World Series titles. So we kind of represent, as the Mariners and Jays get set to meet Monday at Safeco Field, we sort of represent the two sides of this.
Are you some kind of Toronto elitist? You were there? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Safeco's going to be filled with, we've been there before for these series.
Yeah.
Huge atmosphere, tends to be a little bit dominated by the Blue Jays fans. Some suggestion that there's a lot of bandwagon. Do you believe in the bandwagon talk when the Blue Jays actually won 2 World Series, the only Canadian team ever that did, and to be fair, have had a lot of bad years since then?
Bandwagon is an interesting question because I think, as we've seen in recent years, a lot of the story is not only because the Blue Jays are winning, but it's also because people my age who were kids when the Blue Jays won the World Series, prime age, they talk about forming identities with baseball teams 12, 13, 11, that kind of range. All those people like me, are now in that range where we can afford to do stuff like go down to the Mariners game for not 1 game, but like 3 games, stay a couple nights in a hotel, that sort of thing. So I think there's some of that. Obviously the Blue Jays winning, I mean, a winner always attracts new fans. There's no denying that. People are more interested when the team wins. We don't need to talk about a certain local hockey team, but that's a great example.
All right. So there's some suggestion that if you live here, you should have a greater regional devotion being to the Mariners, and shouldn't just be a fan of a team that happens to be several provinces away and has really no connection to Vancouver.
TV sure helps, though. I mean, how many people have been Seahawks fans for more than, I don't know, 5 years? I mean, it's the winning, it's the presentation, it's the connection. I would say the Blue Jays have done a really good job of connecting with fans, both young and old. I think the Canadians connection has a really important factor. I mean, someone else pointed out to me the other day, Kevin Pillar played 2 games or something like that for the Canadians. He was barely a Vancouver Canadian, but everybody thinks of him and saying, hey, he's the guy that played the Canadians. They have built a marketing machine that really connects with people. And yes, they are provinces away. Most of these people have never been to the Rogers Centre, but it's a team that people like, it's a team that people enjoy. Maybe the Mariners need to start thinking about that. Maybe the Mariners should be putting more. I mean, I remember when they were winning, there was a lot more interest in them. That was a big thing. Now it's not so much.
All right. Ed Willis will be in Seattle Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You can follow him right here at provincesports.com.